So what happened then was, much later, after doing all those TV shows, he came up with another book, and this was in 2006. This is now called the all-new Square Foot Gardening Book. And this is basic principles of what I told you about before, mixing some things together, but then using nothing but the things that you mix together. And stay with this. If you do nothing else with your $25 gift certificate, I would recommend that you buy this book. If you want to get excited about gardening any time of the year, I can almost guarantee that when you start reading this book, you will not be able to wait to build yourself a box, mix the stuff, and put some plants in there and see what happens. The only thing you need to do is, once you get it set up, is once again, you need to put it in a sunny place. So location is very important. And that brings me to my first point. Location. You must have a sunny place. If you have a place with hard ground or lots of, or lots of roots in the ground where it's always hard to dig, don't worry about it. Just set your box on top. You still don't want to put it under a tree that's going to give you shade, or next to some bushes that are going to cause you some problems with things dropping off and so on. You still want it in a sunny place. But that's the nice thing about this particular system. Not only that, it's small, but it will grow as many vegetables as a garden 5 times larger than that. It's because you're using every inch of the soil. You're not walking on any of it. There's no rows that you're going to be packing down. There's a regular garden. You till the whole area. You spread fertilizer over the whole area, and then you walk on more of it than you plant in. If you stop to think, you're planting rows about this wide, and then you leave a space this big to pack down. And that's where the weeds typically are. So with this particular system, you're utilizing all of the space. So if you could imagine that this room is your garden, from this wall here to the far end over there, if that were your in the row garden, that would grow quite a bit of stuff. Now divide that in half. Now divide that in half one more time, and now we've got just this section, 1/4, 25% of this whole large room. Now saw off the corner, take off another 5%. What you've got left could be square foot gardens, and it would grow the same amount of vegetables as this whole room used to, simply by planting closer together, not having any rows, and utilizing all of your space. Years ago, there was a system called French intensive gardening, and this is very similar to that, if you're familiar with that term. All right? So another thing about location is you can have it near your door. You can have it near your side. We can have it outside your window. You can have it on the other side of your deck. It's small and it's portable and it's easy to put anywhere you want. And typically what happens after you get one of them, you'll start adding one a year. Now maybe you have a row garden and you're thinking, well, I've already got the row garden. Where am I going to put this? Take a corner of your row garden and just put this on top of it and compare and see how it works. You might be surprised. If you do have more than one of these, leave at least 3 feet, and 4 feet is better, as an aisle between them. That's pretty important. You want to get a wheelbarrow in between there. You want to get your grandkids or your kids. You may have a stroller someday with 2 seats that are side by side, and you're going to need room to get that through there. And so the 4 foot or 3 foot minimum would be ideal. So don't put them too close together. Okay? So we're going to build up. Our second point here is we're going to build up rather than dig down into the soil that we have for the reasons that I talked about. The soil mix is the foundation. This is very, very important. Once again, this is the recipe. It should be 1/3 peat moss. Or it could be, instead of peat moss, it could be coconut coir, C-O-I-R. That's a ground husk. The outer part of the coconut is ground, and that's called coconut coir. It holds water similar to peat moss. It's as good as peat moss. The next part of the recipe is 1/3 coarse grade vermiculite. Coarse, C-O-A-R-S-E, coarse grade vermiculite. Vermiculite comes fine, medium, and coarse. If you start your own seeds, you can buy little plastic bags of fine vermiculite. You just put it in a little tray, wet it, and put your seeds right in it. But that's not what you want for this. You want the coarse grade, and it's very hard to find. We have it. This is what it is right here. This is a 4 cubic foot bag, and it's around $26. So if you're going to mix your own soil, you're going to need vermiculite. You're going to need peat moss. This is a small bag. This is the only bag we have. You can buy big bags at other places and save yourself a little money, but we do have this particular one. Okay, the final 33% of this, the final third, is compost blend or blended compost. And underline that word blend or put it in quotation marks. That's very important. You won't buy that in a bag. That means you're going to buy several high quality composts and you're going to mix them yourself. I recommend mushroom compost, and you can buy this just about anywhere. This is $5.99 a bag here at the nursery. And a chicken manure based compost. This is actually a South Carolina farm product we've been carrying for about a year. This is 30 to 40% chicken manure with other crop residues. This is actually a very high quality compost. I don't care what size the bags are, it doesn't matter. Just get 3 good kinds. And then the final kind that I like to use is a cow manure compost. And I like the Black Cow label, the Black Cow brand. Cow is K-O-W, cow manure compost. Now let me tell you something about compost. The title, composts are not regulated, and they can say cow manure compost if there's just a cupful in the bag. They can put it in with anything else as a filler and call it cow manure compost. So the Black Cow brand is 100% compost, cow manure compost. Now this is the reason you want several different kinds. Typically farms, municipalities, whatever, they have a big supply of something that they need to get rid of. So obviously farm lots have the manure to get rid of. Municipalities collect leaves and shred them and so on, and so they compost them and either offer them free or resell them. And a lot of companies buy that and bag it, sift it, and get the chunks out of it, and it's good stuff. But each of those typically has one ingredient carrying its own micronutrients. But other refuges, things that they're trying to get rid of, have different ingredients, and therefore they have different micro ingredients. And so by blending those together, you get all of them in one mix. So what I do if I were to mix my own soil for this box right here, this bottomless box, is that I would take a big tarp, lay it out flat. I would buy my 3 bags of compost and just pour them all out on a pile. Then take a hoe or a shovel and mix them, or sometimes I'll just grab the corner and just pull the tarp and roll it over on itself, and it just kind of all tumbles together. Then do it in the other direction and you're done. Then I take my 3 bags and I turn them inside out. And now I've got 3 empty bags with no label because they're white on the inside. And then I just shovel it all back into the bags, and now I've got 3 bags of blended compost. I take a magic marker and I write on the outside compost blend or blended compost, and I've got that to use. Now if I'm going to be mixing my own soil to put in here, then I'm going to be using most of that. So then I'll take a big bucket like my measuring cup, and I'll take a couple of buckets of blended compost, put that on a pile, a bucket of vermiculite, equal amounts, 2 buckets of each, 2 and 2, mix it all together, and I'll fill my box. So that is what you need to do if you're going to mix your own soil for the foundation of the square foot garden. Or, just a few weeks ago, we found a source, actually it was early spring, we found a source for square foot gardening mix. You can now buy it like this, and it's all already mixed. Now some people, do-it-yourselfers, they still want to mix their own. But this is the compost. I mean, this has the blended compost, it has the coconut coir, and it has the vermiculite, and it's already in here. 4 of these bags will fill one box, one 4x4 box. Takes 4 bags. And if you forget that, on the back of the bag, it will give you the size of your raised bed and tell you how many bags that it will take to fill it. This particular thing bag costs about $25 a bag, $25.99, and so you'll need 4 of them. So you'll pay $100, but that's a one-time expense that you'll be putting in